In this video, we'll show you how UForge AppCenter from Fujitsu and its UShareSoft subsidiary lets you create infrastructure as code, modeling complex multi-node applications, then deploying to any cloud. UForge is an application delivery and management platform for hybrid IT. It lets you model, deploy, and manage applications for any cloud, integrate with DevOps and AIOps to provide continuous software delivery, and audit live workloads, then automatically migrate to cloud. Today, we'll create a simple two-node blueprint for a web-based application, then deploy it to Amazon Web Services. We'll be doing everything from UForge with no need to access the AWS Management Console. And UForge integrates open source Apache Brooklyn technology to provide these blueprinting services. Our application, Katachi, provides online smart forms and voting solutions. It's a Linux-based, three-tier application with standard web, application, and database tiers, and includes the Java-based Lucy app together with MySQL. So give your blueprint a name and a version number and hit Create. Now, if you saw our templating demo, you'll have seen that we created a single-node, cloud-neutral appliance template that let us deploy Katachi to multiple clouds. That's here. And if you haven't watched that demo yet, I would recommend viewing it before today's video, as we won't be covering the basics of how to create appliance templates today. You can find that video on UShareSoft.com/resources. For this demo, however, we're separating the database from the web and application logic, which is obviously a best practice in production environments. And we'll be using two different templates, one for Lucy and one for Katachi MySQL, which, as you can see, I've already created in my account to save time. In UForge, blueprints use these appliance templates as building blocks, wrapping them together with configuration logic and infrastructure requirements to fully automate deployment and ongoing management. Now that we have our basic blueprint structure, we need to ensure the database and the application can communicate. So first of all, let's open up the right port for our MySQL database. Next, we need to specify the minimum hardware requirements for our database. And UForge will automatically match these requirements with the closest available machine size in your chosen cloud. Now that's all that's needed for the database, so let's just save that. And next, we need to configure the application itself. So again, first of all, let's just set our minimum hardware requirements. And obviously you can scale these up or down depending on the expected load on your application, the required performance, that sort of thing. Now, as part of the deployment process, UForge detects the IP addresses that the cloud has assigned to each of your live instances. And these are used as part of the final configuration to ensure that the web server and the database can communicate. And we describe this in the blueprint using certain variables. Now I've added these to a text file so that we can just copy and paste to save time. Next, we need to include that final configuration logic. And here you can use your standard configuration cookbooks and commands. Simply copy and paste them into the customized command field in UForge. Finally, we need to specify which ports to open to ensure Katachi is reachable once it's up and running. And let's save. And a quick note here that we're using the graphical designer for everything here, but if you prefer, you can use the YAML editor directly or do everything with APIs. Now, if needed, we can also add metadata tags to our blueprint. This means that the running instances can be tracked and managed by cost analytics tools. And UForge lets you define and add your own tags to ensure easy integration with your existing software tooling. And as an example, I'm just going to add a couple of tags to our Lucy appliance. So as you can see, I'm just adding a marketing tag here and a demo tag. And this will let my cost analytics software know that this instance should be billed back to the marketing department and that it's being used for demo purposes. So let's just save that. And our blueprint model is now complete. So if we return to the graphic designer, we're now going to deploy our blueprint to Amazon. So hit deploy up here, and then select your cloud account and the region in which you'd like to deploy it. And now if we click on prepare, that will automatically generate the required Amazon machine images and then publish them into our Amazon account. Now this is going to take a little bit of time, so we'll take a break now and come back and have a look at the status in a few minutes. And here we can see that our Lucy appliance has now been generated and published into our AWS account, and the Katachi MySQL appliance is currently being generated as an Amazon machine image and will be published shortly. And both the MySQL and Lucy machine images have now been published into Amazon, so all we need to do now is to deploy the blueprint. And that's going to start up now, both instances in Amazon Web Services. And we're almost now at the end of today's demo. We've created and deployed a relatively simple application here today for the sake of time. However, you can create more sophisticated blueprints as required by your application deployments, for example, with load balancers, clustering, and more. You can also build AIOps into your applications by including sensors and policies in your blueprint. AIOps will essentially let your application manage itself in the cloud without you needing to get involved. And you can set up self-monitoring and self-healing services for your applications, as well as auto-scaling up and down, so that new instances are automatically launched if needed and then removed once the load drops again with no need for human intervention. Now that's just going to take a few minutes, so we'll let that carry on now and just come back at the end when it's done. And those servers are now up and running in AWS. So we simply need to copy the IP address of the Lucy instance and then paste it into our browser. And you'll see that we now have a new Katachi application up and running in AWS. Now that's it for today's demo. You can sign up for a free UForge account on the UShareSoft website now to get started. Alternatively, you can get in touch with us directly to discuss your business goals, and together we'll define how UForge can help you achieve them.